Today I'm going to show you guys how to do the tape stop effect. You know, it's that effect where like the vocals slow down.
The world ain't ours.
Yeah, just like that.
True Sound Studios is in your ears.
Hey guys, what is up? I'm Weezna, and as always we are here at my studio, True Sound Studios, and today I've had a whole bunch of people ask me about how to do that tape stop effect, that slowing down of the vocal. This effect was made popular when that whole chopped and screwed phase was in, where essentially people were messing around with vocals, you know, just trying to make some cool new effects that people haven't heard of. Now that effect is obviously used quite a bit, but today I'm going to show you guys how to do it. So there is a few different ways to do this, but today I'm going to show you guys my favorite way, which is using a pitch shifter and some automation to make the tape stop effect. Okay guys, so here we go. Okay guys, so let's get started. Okay, so first I'm just gonna play you the section where I think we're gonna do this tape stop. I think it should work because there's a little break in the vocals. So probably one of the toughest things is trying to figure out the spot where to put that tape stop, that slow down vocal effect, because it's not going to work everywhere. I find that it works the best, you know, if somebody's rapping da 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 da, that little stop in there is a good amount of time for it to do that tape stop in there, and sometimes I'll even cut out the beat just to make it seem like a little bit more is happening. So first, let me go ahead and play you it from right about here.
I leave the function with the mean girl squad. I lean girls hard. I mean because the world ain't ours. Jack of all trades to the queens.
So right there on the world ain't ours.
Mean girl squad. I lean girls hard. I mean because the world ain't ours. Jack.
So that's good. So I think that should work there. So first, let's go ahead and get down to the vocal right here. Okay, so the way that I do this is I actually use a pitch shifter and I automate the pitch to start at the normal where it's starting at, and then we drop it all the way down as far as we can go. So I'm very simply going to clone the track and all the plugins that I'm using and just make a separate track just for this little effect. Okay, so the first thing is it's right here. This is the line.
Ours.
On the Oz. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut this. So right here and here. And then what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to clone this entire track. So I'm going to right click, clone track. Now I don't want to clone the events. I don't want to clone all the audio. So I'm going to uncheck that, so that what it does is it just gives me the exact same settings as this track. So this is all the same thing. It just doesn't have any audio on it. So I'm going to take this, very simply hold down shift and then just drag it down. Holding shift doesn't let the audio file move right or left, you know, essentially forward or ahead in time. And what we're going to do is I'm going to zoom in here a little bit, and I want to crossfade these because, you know, I think it's just a really good practice to do. Just go ahead and crossfade anytime you cut audio. It just makes things a little smoother. Get rid of that dead space there and bring this a little closer. Okay, so now I got this. Let me go ahead and play this for you.
Because the world ain't ours. Jack of all trades.
Okay, so to make this a little bit more effective, I think what we're gonna have to do is cut out the music here. So our vocal starts right there, so we probably, well, you know what? Let's just cut it right there. And then to the beginning of the next measure, which is right here. So now I can go ahead and once again, because we cut it, just crossfade that in just a little teeny bit and a little there. So let's take a listen to this.
World ain't ours. Jack of all.
Okay, cool. So you guys are starting to get, you know, where we're getting at here. So I'm just going to move that back a little bit. It sounds a little too chopped.
World ain't ours. Jack.
Okay, cool. So now let's go ahead and add our pitch shifter. So I like to use the Soundtoys Little AlterBoy. Once again, amazing name. And okay, so down here, the pitch and format. Now, once again, you guys can use any pitch shifter. It really doesn't matter. For the most part, we're just changing the pitch. That's all we're doing. We're not going to use any of these fancy settings on here, at least for today. Obviously, you guys can go ahead and do that. So for the pitch and format, the format is kind of like the tone of the voice. So I want it to work with the pitch. So I'm going to go ahead and click this button, link. Some other pitch shifters don't have that, and it's not really necessary. But for this one, I'm going to go ahead and link it. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to automate this pitch. So if I played this right now, nothing's going to happen.
World ain't ours. Jack.
So what I want to do is come here where it says clips. It's going to come down to automation and go to the little AlterBoy, and we want to affect the pitch. So we click pitch, and here's our line that comes up. So what we're going to do is we're going to double click on this green line, and what we're going to do is find some points where we want to essentially start and begin to change the pitch of this. And then I always do a couple at the end just because if I decide to do the same effect later on, I don't want to have to re-zero all this out. So let's just go ahead and just pull this down and see what this sounds like. Now, actually, before we do that, over here, we have to make sure that the read and write is on. So we want the R to be fully in blue. So let's go ahead and listen to this.
World ain't ours. Jack.
So, I mean, that's pretty close. You know, you can move this back a little further if you wanted the actual word to stay in pitch longer.
World ain't ours. Jack.
I don't like that as much. I think it might work better. Whoops. I think it might work better like this.
World ain't ours. Jack of.
So all you can see it's doing, if you watch the pitch shifter right here, as it starts, it's very simply just changing the pitch throughout it and just going all the way down to the full octave at the very end. Okay, so that is pretty cool. So let's go ahead and play this back a little further so you can get a little better context.
With the mean girl squad, I lean girls hard. I mean because the world ain't ours. Jack of all trades.
So that's cool, but, you know, because it, you know, cuts out there and the vocal is, you know, just a smidge ahead of the beat, I feel like there's something we need to bring now the vocal back in to not make it sound like it's such a cut. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a reverse cymbal. This will help pull this back into the mix. So I'm going to go ahead and just label this rev for reverse. And now we want to add the sound effect. So I want to do a reverse cymbal. So let's see here. We'll use this one. Now, once again, it could be any reverse cymbal. It doesn't really matter. And you don't even have to do this if you don't want it, but I think this is going to help. So I'm going to zoom back in. So this is where the beat comes back in. So I want the end of my reverse cymbal, essentially where the height of it is, to be right where the beat is going to come back in. I think that'll really help pull it together. So let's listen to this.
Because the world ain't ours. Jack of.
Oh, wow. That's a little loud. So I'm just going to pull this down about 10, 11 decibels.
World ain't ours. Jack of all trades.
So there you go. Maybe just lower it or bring it back up a little bit more.
It's hard. I mean because the world ain't ours. Jack of all trades to the queens of the park.
It is as simple as that. I mean, once again, I think probably the toughest thing is trying to find that spot where it works, you know, it works with the beat. I often like to find when the word or the vocal ends on a beat, so like a kick and a snare, so that's a good transient time where it sounds like something could happen there, and it also, you know, works in the mix. So let's go ahead, I'll pull this back a little further and let's just listen to this once again in context.
Bring your girl around me, better have a leash or something. I'm clean, no crease or nothing. Find my peace, releasing demons, see triumphant. I leave the function with the mean girl squad. I lean girls hard. I mean because the world ain't ours. Jack of all trades to the queens of the park. Far west, I'm the king of New York.
So there you guys go. I mean, it is really that simple. Now, I know there are a couple other ways to do this. This is the way I've been doing it just for so long. And for me, it's just really easy to do. And not to mention, you don't always have to go down in pitch. You know, you could always go up and you can play around with it and have it, you know, end a little longer, find words that are held out longer. You could even chop it up and just really have some fun with these tape stop or slow down effects. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you can use this information and a pitch shifter to really just have some fun and make some really cool effects for your vocals. So if you guys like this video, consider subscribing and hit that like button. Follow us on Instagram for daily posts. You can find the beats that I make right here at the studio on our SoundCloud page. True Sound Studios also mixes and masters your tracks. So once again, guys, thanks for watching this video. I'm Weezna, we're at True Sound Studios, and True Sound Studios is in your ears.